cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, you rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
What up? Live sports mix me back. Got my round table. Got my fellas with me tonight.
What's up, man?
Got Cheese. What's up, my brother?
All right.
Got my man CB coming up. What's up, CB?
Yes, sir.
What's good, my brother?
In the house.
How was y'all? What was this, Labor Day?
Yeah.
One of them holidays.
One of them holidays. How was your day off? Let's do that.
It was cool.
How was your day off from work?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I was able to go to the bookstore and get me a couple of books, man. So that's always cool.
Yeah,
That's cool, man.
You are the most well-read member of the podcast, so
Yes, indeed.
I wouldn't expect you to do nothing different. My man. So did y'all brothers have a good weekend? Weekend was good.
Mm-hmm.
Family good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man. So got a couple things going on today. Sports world. The big thing everybody talking about.
What's that?
Lamar Jackson. Are the Ravens gonna pay this man or what? What's the deal? What y'all think? Just we ain't gotta go in too deep. Should he get paid? Because we're gonna go there.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So we all in agreement that he should get paid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
and particularly considering what's the brother with the Cardinals? Murray.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw the long dollars that he got,
Yeah, and he not half the player that Mr. Jackson is, but that's all up for debate. Also,
let me ask you a question. What is the I guess the stumbling block?
Well, I would assume it's the amount of guaranteed money. That's kind of the rumblings. That's what I'm hearing right now. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into that. Also, the NFL season is about to start.
Yep.
It's Thursday, as a matter of fact, Buffalo and the Rams.
Yep.
So that should be a pretty good one to start the season off.
Did Aaron Donald ever get disciplined?
No. It was practice. You know what I mean?
Talking about practice.
That's what Allen Iverson said.
Yeah. About practice. And then the college football, the NCAA, not the NCAA. What is it? The FC. What is that? What is that called? The college football bowl.
FCS.
Is it the FCS? They came up with a new system that they're going to break out in. I think it was 2026.
Yeah.
A 16-team playoff, or 12-team. I'm sorry, a 12-team playoff format.
Yeah.
And we can throw that around a little bit. But first off, Cheese had you were our boxing guy, and you had mentioned the other day on your page the passing of a heavyweight legend, from the 70s, early 80s, Ernie Shavers. I know you wanted to say a few words about Ernie before we get going.
Yeah, man, he was as we look into that era, which is really one of the golden eras for the heavyweight division of the 70s. And You know, you think about, Foreman, Norton, Shavers, Ali, Ron Lau, Larry Holmes. Yeah, all these guys were tremendously tough guys. And Ernie Shavers gets overlooked a lot of times because it was such a high profile time for the heavyweight division. And I know we talked about earlier about his about the documentary, about Ali documentary, in which he spoke so eloquently about Muhammad Ali and the reverence he had for him, even through that battle, um, which says a lot about his character. He was always known as a kind individual. Um, like I say, he was a tough guy, known as maybe the hardest puncher ever in the heavyweight division. Um, and he fought all the tough guys that in the 70s. I mean, he even fought, Larry Holmes twice. And if anybody gets a chance, go look at that fight from 78 between him and Larry Holmes. Went 15 rounds.
Right, that's what I was getting ready to say. It went the distance.
Yeah, but man, it was ebb and flow. And even though Holmes won by unanimous decision, he just put up such a valiant effort. When you thought Holmes had him on, he would just bounce back. And it was during the time, I mean, it was obviously at Caesar's Palace, which had been home to so many great fights. But I appreciate you showing the man, we allowing to show him some respect and what he did for the sport. Because a lot of times when guys like that leave the sport, they don't get any love shown to them. And you guys know I'm a big fan of the older fighters. So yeah, I appreciate you showing them some love on your show, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then, he's somebody that I actually saw fight, even though I was a little kid, but I've always been a sports fan. So, and I was telling you a little while ago, I remember watching the Larry Holmes and Ernie Shavers fight on Friday Night Fights.
Yeah.
And I had to have been 6, 7 years old watching that. 6, 7, I don't, whatever year it was, but I was a young kid watching it, and I just remember it was looked like both of them could have been knocked out at any point at the fight. And being a young kid, I didn't recognize or realize that it was a 15 round, that they went the whole 15 just because of the way they beating each other. But definitely Ernie Shavers, I do remember him and his reputation, being one of the hardest hitters that ever in the heavyweight division, and definitely well respected, by the boxing community, very well respected, man. And again, like I told you earlier, the morning that you put it out there that he passed, that same morning I watched a documentary, just happened to pop on and he was on it. And then, later that evening, I saw you posted that he passed. So it's kind of ironic, that I would see that day and notice, that he was in it. You got anything, CB, on Ernie Shavers?
Oh man, I remember when I was a kid, man, and like you said, his reputation was that he was hard hitting.
Yeah.
And going up against Holmes and Ali, I mean, the guy was, and I remember the fight with Holmes, and it reminded me just a little bit of the fight that Ali had with Frazier in, I think it was in Manila, where for like 15 rounds, man, they were just like blow for blow, man. And when I'm reminded of Shavers, man, you knew that when he was coming in, it was going to be some heavy blows.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was definitely a legend in the heavyweight division and really boxing overall. And I guess, all of us, we old enough to kind of remember, boxing was just a different game
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the 70s and 80s. Um, you had more bigger fights, more, mega fights, I would say, with the top names kind of fighting each other. Um, now, I mean, with sports now, everything is dictated about the money and who you fight under, and all this control, and
Right.
people wanting to dictate kind of or protect certain guys. Don't want to expose certain guys to whatever the case may be. But
Mm-hmm.
even though I was a young kid, I'm glad that I got to see some of that. Um, just to get to witness some of that era of sport. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to like Larry Holmes and
Yeah.
Big George Foreman that's still around, even though Big George got his name in some mess right now. you know, but
But you know
and,
what,
and
man? Speaking on like, I don't think some of the because if we talk about like basketball,
mhm,
um, a lot of the guys in the game have a lot of respect or reverence for guys who played before them.
mhm,
Um, and that's the one thing as someone who, and we all love boxing, but a lot of the guys in the sport, you got guys like Mike Tyson, guys like that who are older but have a lot of knowledge and have a lot of respect for the guys that before them. But a
Historians of
lot
the
of the,
game.
yeah, but a lot of these young guys, in my opinion, should take time out to learn more about the sport because all they know is Floyd Mayweather,
mhm,
and that's it.
yeah,
And I think they're doing themselves a disservice by not going and studying, reading, even if you're watching film of different guys who fought before you, just to see what allowed you to get this opportunity. A lot of the black fighters who fought, 60, 70, 80 years ago. I mean, just read about some of the things they went through to allow you to get these big purses.
yeah,
That you're getting. I mean, and even to this day, a lot of guys who's fighting now, they don't even get the money Sugar Ray Leonard was getting 40 years ago.
right. That's
In
true.
this document, you can look it up. He's had purses where he was getting 8, 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 14. A lot of these guys now, they fighting. You would think they're making $5 million, $10 million. They ain't making that.
Yep, yep. What's
But I
up, Ben?
mean, you
Ben
know,
Collins checking in on YouTube. Say Larry Holmes is one of his all-time favorite. His all-time favorite.
yeah.
And Larry Holmes was the guy pretty much when I really started getting into
Mhm.
boxing. Ali was at the end. And I remember watching
Mhm.
Larry Holmes beat Ali. Um, so Larry Holmes was kind of the heavyweight champ pretty much through the 80s up until Spinks.
Yeah.
So, and what year was the Spinks fight? Like 86?
Well, no. See, let me go
Spinks was
backwards.
78, I thought.
Yeah, Spanx was
No,
78.
no, 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 no. Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks.
Oh, Michael.
Oh, that was
Like 86?
86, 87, something
Yeah,
like that. But
yeah.
see, what people don't realize for guys our age, because
Mhm.
like you said, Ali was kind of on a downfall at that time, but from 78 to 85, which is unheard of for a heavyweight now to go 8 years
Yeah,
as a champion. And
yeah.
that's what Holmes did. And he went through the gauntlet of all these great fighters during that era.
Hmm.
And for 8 years he was champion straight.
Yep. Yep.
And then from 85, the emergence of Mike Tyson after that. But then we had other guys, Lennox Lewis and everything. But I mean, as Banks, I mean Lennox Lewis, I mean Larry Holmes is unbelievable, man.
Yeah. And
Unbelievable.
even through the 90s, when you had Holyfield, you had Tyson, you had some guys, it just wasn't the same. Like, you know what I'm saying? Boxing was good in spurts to me. It kind of it didn't have that same appeal that it did when I was a kid. Like the Ali, the Holmes, some of those fights. And then of course you had the Sugar Ray Leonards and the Haglers and the Hearns and the Durans, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? This boxing was just different. And I'm still a boxing fan, I'm not one of them ones that run away from it. I still love the game. I still love the sport. I just see the politics in it, and how you don't see the big fights that we would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, everybody got their own reason for whatever. But I like to see it where everybody fighting everybody. And then another, I guess too. Now I can answer my own question. When you're making millions of dollars and you're not really pressed, you don't have to jump out there and take them risks like that.
See, that's the difference, Kenny. You kind of hitting it, man. That's the difference between now and back then.
Yeah.
Those guys were willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, it was almost like, for lack of a better word, they were married to the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, for better or for worse, as you stated earlier when we talked, I mean, the documentary is only 2 of them left.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were so married to the game that the game kind of took them out prematurely.
Yeah.
Even though they were older men, but still, when the faculties are gone and some of the things that that affects day-to-day life. But the guys I've asked over the years,
Mm-hmm.
if you ask them would they change that,
Right.
they say no. They say no, because I've been to events where Joe Frazier has walked in, the crowd is cheered, he raised his hand or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feeling that they wanted.
Yeah.
That's the feeling that kept them going.
Yeah.
And they would not change that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the cause of being married to the game, I guess.
Since you got a personal connection to Mr. Holmes, man, we might have to get you to get him up on this sports mix. At some point.
I'll try to do that.
That's something we can work on. But yeah, he was one of my favorites,
Mm-hmm.
growing up. And I think with sports, like the people that impacted me as a young kid, that really had me grasp to the sport.
Yeah,
I hold on to them, and it's I as a adult now, I guess I'm more reflective. You know what I'm saying? And those times mean a lot more.
Good point, man. Good point.
But watching the Larry Holmes on Friday night fights, like or Saturday, the Wild World of Sports,
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Ray Leonard, watching them guys when they were young guys and just trying to make a name for themselves. That stuff to me is kind of what drove me to, loving sports the way I do. Just those memories. We big Orioles fans. Nobody can say nothing bad about Eddie Murray and Al Bunbury and Ken Singleton and them guys to me. Them are my guys. Forever. I don't really don't care how it turned out, what they did or didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Them guys had such an impact on me as a young kid, and the reason why I loved baseball and the Orioles the way that I did, and still do. And I like the new guys. I like the guys that some of the guys that came up since, but them guys, man, are forever in my memory bank. They'll be forever heroes for me.
Sports was a lot raw when we were younger. I mean, there wasn't all this social media stuff around it. I mean, they just got to it, and it was more. I mean, CB, I know, growing up, being a Knicks fan, you just wanted to watch them or get to the Garden or whatever. Just like we just wanted to go to Memorial Stadium, bang on the metal seats or whatever. I mean, it wasn't none of this. We weren't worried about no selfies. We weren't worried. We would just want the pure love of the sport and the people surrounding the sport or is in it. I mean, but a lot of it is soiled the fabric of the sports, but purists kind of stick to, what moves them, like you said,
So CB, were you a Yankee guy coming up? Were you a Yankee fan growing up?
I was actually I was actually a Met guy. But I wanted to go back to the boxing just for a second because you know, when I came up, man, Ali was the guy, you know, and I remember when he used to fight, and it wasn't on TV, and I remember waking up the next morning and asking my pops, did he win? Did he win? You know, and you know, just that whole, you know, just being a kid, and just, you know, before you even get like the before you get the newspaper, you know,
Right.
But yeah, man, you know, just like those days with I'm trying to remember back, like my first Ali fight, because it wasn't. I think it was the second fight with Frazier. And that must have been like 74, because the first fight was 71.
71.
Second fight 74. The third fight, I believe, that was
75.
Manila in 75.
That's right.
Yeah. And I was I was big into boxing. You know, boxing was my thing, man. You know, and like I would get like the Boxing Digest, of course, the Bible, you know, Ring
magazine,
you know, and yeah, man, you know, and just, you know, even like with the like the lightweight Salvador Sanchez, man, you know, and man, you know, just those, and you know, just going back to what Kenny said about, you know, the difference between, I guess, like today and yesteryear, or back in the day, you know, and you know, because I think politics has always been part of the game.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, because I can remember when we wanted to see Leonard and Durant.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted to see Leonard and Hagler. There was always the you know, playing it up in the media before we actually saw the fight.
Yeah.
But what I think is one of the more fundamental differences is the proliferation of the belts. When I come up, one, maybe two belts.
Yeah.
WBA, WBC.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Undisputed. Boom.
Yep.
Then the IBF came in. And then there were all, and then I believe there were
WBO.
they started creating divisions, junior divisions, and so I think that has some change to the game too. And I think with the proliferation of the alphabet organizations, and Keys, you tell me if I'm wrong here, if I'm incorrect. I think there was more of them mandating the dates of the fights.
Yes.
So where you had back in the day, fighters was fighting 2, 3, 4 times a year.
Yes.
You know, when it came to the proliferation of the alphabet organization, then it became, you are going to fight. You are going, and it's going to happen. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it seemed maybe the fighters got into this, well, you know, I only have to fight like once or twice a year.
Yeah. It was a lot of things. It's a lot of things that went on in that scenario. Number one, exactly what you stated. Another reason was a lot of these boxing organizations, whether it's Nevada Athletic Commission, New York State, they kind of started to enhance the safety part of the game about 30, 35 years ago.
After which guys like,
yeah, there you go, against Duke Koo Kim.
That's
which,
right.
By the way, that was also at Caesar's Palace. We talking about Ernie Shavers and Larry Holmes, but
I remember
they
that.
would talk. Yeah, I mean, so upon doing that, I mean, guys like even up to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, I think, fought 7 to 8 times in 1 year. And you look at a lot of these guys, but CB, you hit it around the nose. But I'll tell you this, and allow me to name drop just for the sake of backing your point, CB. I had Buddy McGirt. I talked to Buddy McGirt. Now, he was on my podcast one time.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, but before that, I talked to Buddy McGirt in Vegas at the fight. Cassius Chaney was fighting, but that was the fight with Sergey Kovalev. So we talking, and he talked about the old times with, but the thing that I agree with, like hotbeds, New York City, Philadelphia, even Baltimore to an extent, Chicago, L.A.,
Detroit,
Texas, Detroit. A lot of these places, they get more in depth with the sport of boxing. So I think that's where your love of boxing probably came from, because New York State, the Golden Gloves was such a huge thing. It still is.
I used to look forward to
huge.
that every year when I was a kid, man.
Michigan Golden Gloves, Pennsylvania Golden Gloves. I mean, you're talking about Philadelphia is one of the great fighting cities ever. But he mentioned that he's like, you know, man, growing up, he's like, I love the sport because it was always around me.
Yeah.
He said he just grew up loving. And I think that's probably why a lot of these hotbeds like that know more than the average boxing fan. So,
yeah. Well, you know, again, we're gonna dig into some boxing, you know, down the road.
Appreciate you talking about that, man.
But we're gonna utilize your expertise in the field. You know, you've done some extensive
we all love this
research.
Yeah, I mean,
and you know, you got some inroads to some people that could enlighten us all, you know, on some things about the sport, the business of the sport. You know, that's something I talked about in other podcasts. This the business of sport. The business of sport would turn people away. You know, people that don't really understand, you know what I'm saying, and you get caught up in the business of sport, it can sour you on the sport. You know what I'm saying? When you got to have a deep love for most sports now, you know what I'm saying? You got to really love the sports to kind of ignore, you know, the business side of it. It's the, you know, the player contracts or the contract disputes, you know, all the stuff that goes on kind of behind the scene that become talking points in the media, you know what I'm saying? Stuff they use to kind of turn people away from certain athletes or certain teams that, for that matter. You know, the business of sport is an ugly thing. You know what I'm saying? If you allow yourself to get caught up in that, you find yourself walking away from the sport. And you know, we all be on social media and you know, we follow these blogs and stuff, and a lot of times you can just read the comments. You know what I'm saying? In the comments, to me, sometimes it's more funny because people are so emotional. You know what I'm saying? They be so emotional about this stuff, like, yo, I'm never watching it again, or I'm never supporting this again, I'm never supporting that again. In the heat of the moment, you say something like that. But if you really love sport, whatever, you know, you'll be back. You know what I'm saying? You'll be back. But like I just got to the point where I want to allow the business of the sport to kind of dictate my feelings or my thoughts on anything. I just kind of, all right, here we go with that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the game on. Let me see a game. You know, let me see a game or let me see a fight, you know, and then we move on from there. So definitely again, RIP Ernie Shavers. You know, much respect on a great boxing career. And just wanted to, you know, give some shit, send some love his way.
Pretty cool,
respect,
man.
Yeah, respect to his family as well. At this time, you know, RIP. So we move on to the hot topic of the month. And the month is we're only 5 days in, about 6 days away from the start of the NFL season here in Baltimore. The actual season kicks off Thursday night with the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams playing against the Buffalo Bills. And I expect that to be a pretty good game. But here locally, all the talk is about Lamar Jackson and his contract status. So I was at a family event yesterday, and me and some of my family members, the topic came up.
Mm-hmm.
Should he, first of all, should he get the money?
Right.
And my response was an absolute yes. And then it's like, well, what kind of money should he get? As much as he can get was my second response. Uh, should it be uh, Deshaun Watson type money?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm negotiating, that's where we start. These are my answers to those questions. Like, yeah, he should get the money. That's where they should start. And it's a negotiation. So,
Right.
you get what you negotiate. Should he get 240, 250 guaranteed fully? If the Ravens are willing to pay that, absolutely. Absolutely. But what I do know and what I will say, all right, if he goes through this season and they don't sign him to the contract, the price, and then he balls out, he has a great year, puts up a solid Lamar Jackson type year, numbers wise. The Ravens, do well. The price is only going to go up. And I heard people talk about the franchise tag, right? So when you get franchise, you're going to get the average of the top 5 in your position. So you upwards of 40 million, at the quarterback position, and that price could go up depending on who signs next year. Prior to him signing his deal, right? And that number, whatever that number is, if you do sign the franchise tag, that number counts against your salary cap for next year. So to me, it will make so much more sense to get a deal done, and that way you could, all right, give him a signing bonus, you give him his guarantee, but you can spread that number out, over the course of the year, so you're not getting hit so hard in the cap. Year 1, year 2, you could kind of make it light in the first maybe 4 years, and then a lump sum at the back end of it. And then when you get to the back end, if he's still balling out, whatever, restructure him and do it that way. I just don't think it's smart to not sign him to a long-term deal prior to the season, because anything can happen, of course. But if they do have to franchise him, you're talking 40, 45 million that's going to hit your cap next year. That's really going to strap you. If you got 40 to 45 going to one guy. So what's your thoughts on that Lamar Jackson contract situation?
I just have a quick question. Yep. Is he playing out the what contract is he under right now?
The rookie.
Okay. Is this the last year?
Yep. Yep. And I think it's the option year, right?
Okay.
I think it's like you got a 5th year option on your rookie deal, because he's making 20-something million this year. So
yeah, he needs a raise.
See, here's the thing, man. I've been, and guys know, I've been a supporter of Lamar and taking it easy, and they'll get to make the contract what it is. I said this a few months ago. I wasn't worried about him signing a contract or them getting a deal done. I'm gonna say that again. I wasn't worried about them getting a deal done, but it's a couple things going on in my mind. Now, they supposed to made him another offer today or last night, so I don't know what the outcome of that is. But you got a guy who is going to possibly go into the season without a deal. Now, we're not talking about anybody. And for all the people, hey, you got a lot of people who think they know the game and say, well, he's He's not a great passer. He's just a running back playing the quarterback position. And I say it again, his stats do not lie when it comes even to passing. Now, you may say, oh, he's not a quarterback who can come from behind and win you. Well, he's done it a couple times. Yeah. Well, he's not a quarterback that can put you on his back and win you a game. Well, he's done that quite a few times. Well, he's not going to be a quarterback that'll get you that'll be an MVP caliber court. Well, he's got an MVP. The only thing holding him back from a Super Bowl potentially was the guy in Kansas City. And be honest, he played well. You know, they just gave up more points. That's how the game goes. But I'm so tired of people saying that this man, I wouldn't give him this, I wouldn't give him that. Number one, it would be a slap in the face, in my opinion, to put a franchise tag on him right now. First of all, it's too late in the game. Number one, this guy is an MVP in this league. His touchdown to interception ratio is on par with the best ones in the league to this day. Aaron Rodgers, whoever you want to put up, Mahomes. Now, again, I'll say it. The touchdown to interception rate, I didn't say he had more throwing touchdowns, but his total touchdown to interception ratio, that's including him running the ball in. His combined yards, rushing and throwing, is on par with anybody in the league for just throwing. So, I mean, I'm not going to, give that man a deal and let him play. I commit. And see, here's the thing. Lamar's, 24 years old? Maybe 25. His maturity, you can say all these things about Aaron Rodgers, all these other big-time quarterbacks in the league. In my opinion, Lamar is more mature than all of them. Yeah. He don't make no fuss. He's like fully confident. He has already stated if the deal is not done before the season starts, he's not going to talk about it. While you got Aaron Rodgers throwing his receivers under the bus in preseason, Lamar would never do that. It says something about his character, man. I hope they give him a boatload of money.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So from hearing what both of y'all are saying, if or when Lamar gets his long dollars, that there would be folk in Baltimore that would criticize.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you what.
Is that racial?
No.
Okay.
Because his brothers that do it too.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard them even during the workplace.
And that is based on stats or lack of
thinking they can get rid of him to get multiple players or use that money on multiple players. This is the mindset of a Baltimorean. Let us just be honest. We're the home of the bandwagon. We are. Whatever team is winning,
yep.
There is talk of trading him.
No,
it's been floated. It's been floated out there.
Yeah. You let a Baltimore fan talk, depending on which way the wind is blowing is what they're going to say. And I'm a Baltimore guy.
Yeah.
See, the Baltimore Orioles losing doesn't stop me from wearing the Orioles hat.
That's some unheard of bullshit, man. I'm floored with that shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been through this. This is nothing new.
No, this is nothing new.
This is nothing new. They wanted to get rid of Ray Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Many times over the years.
Many times.
I mean, in his prime Ray Lewis.
Yes. Oh, we can get rid of him and we can get 2 or 3 multiple players. The dude brought 2 rings here.
Yeah, we talking about prime Ray. We talking about Ray when Ray was all over the field.
Yeah.
You know, in every tackle.
Ridiculous.
I think those are the ones that mistake potato chips for lead, man. They looking on the lead, man.
Nah. It's Baltimore, man.
And yeah, he right, man. I mean, sometimes I don't know whether it's. I think sometimes people say things like that out of fear that the guy's just going to leave us anyway.
Yeah.
So let's be proactive and trade him before he get a chance to leave us.
Yeah.
You know, Baltimore. And I mean, I'm a Baltimore guy, man. We got a small town mentality.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know, we feel like we overlooked in a lot of ways. You know, we don't get the love that like a DC or get or Philly. You know, they kind of look over top of us, like, you know, we here, we want, you know, so.
But that's different from talking about trading away.
But I think it's different, but it's the same because, you know, that fragile ego.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? It's people that's still sick about the coach leaving. I mean, literally get sick at the sight of the uniform and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm still upset about that.
Now the Ivory and all that, the Colts have been away from Baltimore longer than they were here.
Yes, that's right.
At this point. But
I'm still upset about
people never get over that. So when you got an iconic figure, which Lamar Jackson is in line to become one of the next iconic figures in Baltimore, you know, along with Ray Lewis and Johnny Unitas in football and Cal Ripken and Brooks Robinson and all them type of names. You know, the fear with a lot of people, man, is, you know, he's demanding this money. And not because he's just greedy, he's demanding it because he's worth it.
Yeah.
So I just think a lot of people, man, in fear that he's just going to walk away, because with baseball, right? It's always somebody going to go to the Yankees. You know, they just going to go to the Yankees. The Yankees just going to offer them up a boat, or the Red Sox. So that's the fear. The fear is, you know, the Baltimore Orioles going to groom a player, make him a superstar, and he's going to walk away, and the Yankees going to sign him to all this money, or the Red Sox. And you know, so let's just trade him. And I swear, I'm still irritated about Manny Machado not being on third base for the Orioles. Yeah. But you know, I had to get over that, and he wasn't part of the plan moving forward. But the Ravens operate a little different. Like, the Ravens haven't really ever, recently anyway, been in a full rebuild mode. They've always felt like they've been competitive.
Yeah, they keep winning.
Yeah. I mean, they had some bad seasons in there.
It's very rare, though.
Yeah, it's rare. But, you know, Ravens are on a team that's just rebuilding. We're not the Cleveland Browns. You know, we're not a team that's always looking to start over, right? And you know, to try to get it right. We you know, the Ravens, man, kind of always, they draft well. They seem to find diamonds in the rough, so they always relevant. You know, they always seem to be relevant in the AFC. But I just think, man, a lot of the fans have a fear that Lamar is just going to run away and go get a boatload of money and become an even bigger superstar somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
So you push him out.
So to mask that, you hear people say, "Let's just trade him. Let's trade him now. Let's get rid of him now." You know why he got some value.
Here's the kicker, though, Kenny. And matter of fact, I'm gonna start screenshotting this. This is gonna be a weekly thing. The life of a Baltimore sports fan. I'm gonna start screenshotting. Here's what's gonna happen. I've heard. So this is preseason. Oh man, you know what? I wouldn't pay him because Huntley is just as good. So we can put. I've heard this. Yeah,
I've heard
50 times.
I've heard
50 times. So when people start talking, and I just look at them, I get that. You know, that's blank stare like this, like that Bela Lugosi shit with the Dracula. I just look at him. Oh, Huntley. I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Are we watching the same dynamic player who's not played preseason yet? And Huntley, it's two different things. So here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna go out, they're gonna win first two games. Fans on Facebook, man, we're going to Super Bowl. That one, let me put it up. They're gonna get a one loss. We should get rid of them.
Yep.
This team sucks.
I've seen
This
that.
team sucks. So I just look at this post. Look at the post. It's a few culprits from my old neighborhood. I ain't gonna mention their names. They say the same shit every year. They suck. They suck. But you keep watching though.
Yeah.
So I say the same thing every year. I tell Kitty this. I always had this one post. My legs, I can stretch them out on the bandwagon because people jumping off.
Yeah, they jumping off the ship.
Oh my goodness,
So,
man!
I need to ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the sense that you've been like talking about regarding, say, like Baltimore, in this case, Baltimore, football fans.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a distinction between, say, like real football fans and these guys talking shit, or is it sort of blended together where that dude or sister who is has that like football knowledge, but then they are part of the bandwagon people? Is that the case?
Man, you know how you go on a cruise, and the people that work on the cruise is like from 50 different countries. That's how the fans are here. So the lady singing at the nightclub on the shit thinks she really can have a music contract at Sony Music, but she's not good enough. But she thinks she has the skills to go to Sony Music and get a big multi-million-dollar contract to be the next Beyonce. When in all reality, nobody on that cruise told her that she's not talented enough to be a Beyonce.
Damn, cheese.
So this is the fans that we're dealing with. We got fans who think that they know the game better than the brass. But then we got some fans who really know the game, but then they bail out when we lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to be Captain Stupid and say, look,
how long they will last.
I got to keep steering this ship to be positive, because now I got Gopher and the rest of them thinking that it's unruly characters on the ship. And the ship is going to sink.
I'm gonna tell you, man. what I'm hearing is
very disturbing.
It's disturbing. I guess it's a little surprising, but
am I lying?
I guess like one of my first thoughts is I don't know if they can last up top with that shit, man. Because you can't be like flip flopping like a pancake, man. You like
oh my goodness.
Like I know cats that I come up with. Like I remember when there was a Kansas City a Chief fan, like 73, 74. Mm-hmm. I go back up to the Bronx right now. They still riding with the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
Like you ride.
Yeah.
Like you don't jump.
You got your diehards. You got your diehards. They ride or die. It don't matter. But you got a lot of people that like the. They like to ride that tide, man. When the tide is high, they jumping on it.
You ain't seeing nothing. Wait till if the Ravens go 5-10 and see how many Steeler jerseys pop out.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean,
true story.
But even around the city, like when stuff is good, it's purple everywhere.
Yeah,
Raven flags. You see the car flags all over the place. You see. Everybody in the restaurants, like she said, when they had them seasons when, in November and December, they out of it. Nobody want to talk about the Ravens. Nobody, them flags are packed up, tucked up.
All of a sudden they're a Steeler fan.
Yeah, people talking about, Christmas now, you know what I'm saying? New Year's, what you doing New Year's? Ain't nobody thinking about no damn Ravens. So yeah, it's funny, I'm gonna watch them games whether they 16-0 or 0-16. I'm tuned in, and
it's
I'm
all
suffering.
fun. I mean, I don't want no people get upset. We just having a little fun,
But we telling the truth.
Yeah.
Now, if your toes hurt, we mean to step on them.
Yeah.
But we telling the truth.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's fucked up, man.
yeah.
I ain't know cats like roll like that, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like look, man. I know cats, man. That you know, the Jets.
Yeah.
Jets had some really bad years,
Yeah.
and they still ride with them.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's just like the ride and then the coming off.
Mhm.
That's kind of difficult for me to reconcile with right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Ben-
That's bad, man.
Ben
And then you say
Tyler
they be on your
said
social media too.
he don't agree with being a diehard fan anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you know, I can understand that, but if you proclaim yourself to be, I'm not talking about Bank though, but if you proclaim yourself to be a Ravens fan and, say they keep Lamar and they go 9-8, we got a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks. You can say we should have got rid of him and started Huntley. And I mean, come on, man. It's like,
But they don't have the same skill set.
nah.
Like
No.
They play similar, and Huntley will make a play here and there,
yeah,
and people will say, well, he throw a prettier ball than Lamar. I mean, they look at little simple shit like that. But look at the win-loss record.
Yeah.
I look at that. You know what I'm saying? And I had that conversation yesterday.
I feel your frustration now.
I had that conversation yesterday. You can say what you want about him, but the dude is a winner. You know what I'm saying? He get out there and make shit happen. I mean, I think back a couple of years ago to that Cleveland game. When he came out of the locker room, what was it, fourth and whatever. He ran in the locker room, and then the backup quarterback got hurt, and the commentators like, well, damn, who gonna be quarterback now? And here come Lamar running out like Willis Reed and shit, coming out of the locker room. Not only did he complete the first down, but he got a damn touchdown out the play. You know what I'm saying? When they was left for dead. This is who Lamar Jackson is, man. I mean, he been excitement. He pumped life back into the team.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people tend to forget. Probably conveniently forget. The Ravens was not in playoff contention when he took over that starting job.
Right.
They put him in the starting job, and the idea was to let him play the season out to see what he was, what he could be. And he led the team. What they go 6-1 down the stretch, got them into the playoffs. They got bumped in the playoffs, but I mean, come on, they was left for dead. Wasn't even talking about playoffs. We were talking about getting in position to get a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken Flacco wasn't taking them nowhere.
No. But you know what, man? Now we're talking about Lamar. I want to address something that's a little bit more serious to me, because it's covert racism, in my opinion, and it's also covert classism on the part of whites and blacks when it comes to Lamar. Because I read a lot of stories, and I read a lot of comments. You go to the Ravens comments, and I look on the profile of a lot of these people. A lot of them white, a lot of them black, and I've heard comments like, you can't understand what Lamar is saying, his communication skills, and these are by white and black folks. And what I don't like is you got a young man who, not you, and people who watch Kenny's show know I'm a big supporter of Lamar and the way he carries himself. And this young man is nothing but positive. He says the right things. He does the right things. And you may not put him on par with communication, say it like a Tiger Woods or somebody. But the young man, if you doing the right thing and you saying the right thing and you're trying every day and you work hard, this is what you become. You become Lamar Jackson. And I said it before, he's a young man. As he grows older, he's going to become more and more articulate and be able to address himself the way he wants to in certain forums or certain interviews. But I don't like the fact, especially from us, that they look at this young man and says, "Oh man, he can't communicate." Come on with that.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, so tell me this. If he spoke perfect English, but he going out there beating up women and shit and doing this and doing that, what do you want?
Right.
Let that young man mature and become the great man I think he's going to be. I don't like that. And it reminds me of when we, black folks, we have certain stigmas about, and our homegirl, Michelle Nelson, she eloquently put something out there the other day.
I saw that.
About we have this thing about, the dark skin, light skin thing in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
That shit still goes on.
Oh yeah.
And we talk, Lachelle's our homegirl. She like our sister. Yeah. Beautiful lady. Yeah. But she made a great point. Sometimes we can't get out our own fucking way, man.
Yeah.
We can't get out of our own way. Let that young man be great and stop downing him and let him mature. And, because we're all not the same. And I tell you this, he may not speak perfect English. I don't either. But that doesn't make him less intelligent than the next man. If you picking up what I'm putting down. So that was my spiel on that.
Absolutely. And that's that's
Keon, man. Why?
I just saw that.
That's crazy.
What's up, Keon?
Keon, okay with this.
But I think that's one of the other things, because I'm a sports fan, so I follow sports a little more than politics or any other thing. I try to stay well versed in a lot of stuff, but sports is my it's the thing that probably give me the most joy. Watching sports and kind of analyzing and watching that stuff, man. But you make a great point, man. This is one of the things as black people in particular. We always seem to have to make other people comfortable in who we are. So it's people that get offended because the way he wears hair. Yeah. Or it's people that's, like you say, offended because of the way he speaks. I really could care less how he speaks. If them guys in that huddle understand what he's saying, and him and John Harbaugh got an understanding and they can communicate, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because we watch sports because of I watch the sports because of the game, right? So if he fumble up in the interview after the game and say something, he had a hell of a game. I really could care less about the interview. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me. It's just like, and I'll take it back, the same way people were so up in arms about Colin Kaepernick kneeling or players kneeling during the national anthem. That was before the game. The national anthem, they don't even show on TV. Most of the time, you don't even see the national anthem, right? But people was up in arms about that. It had nothing to do with the game, right? So, people gonna be upset when something don't look or feel like they want it to look. You know what I'm saying? Athletes should be, you're there to entertain me. You know what I'm saying? You got people with that mindset. You just there to entertain me, and I don't care about your political stances or where you come from. Right. What hardships you went through in life. Whether you're educated or not, entertain me. That's all I care about. And if Lamar Jackson being the quarterback, he he doesn't do it the way Joe Flacco did it. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do it the way Tom Brady does it. You understand me? He doesn't do it the way Ben Roethlisberger, for example. So he got his own way of doing it, and he's successful at it. It's not going to make everybody happy. And that piece you just brought up is something I actually heard yesterday. Somebody that kind of came up in the conversation we were having.
Crazy,
yesterday.
right? It's crazy, ain't it?
And I'm like, man, I could care less. I could care less, man, because
Unbelievable, kid.
all that matters to me is what's going on that field. His teammates love him.
Yeah, and you want guys to be good in the community, and he is. I mean, he's everything you want in a young man to represent your organization, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you want him to be a positive. I mean, to see these little kids, like, they asking for autographs at the exhibition. I mean, in the practice. I mean, come on, man. Is that great or what?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, and then the thing about it, white and black kids, they love him, man.
Love him, man.
So don't soil these kids because of your idiot mindset. Because these kids, they love Lamar for being Lamar and being nice to him.
Yep.
And saying, look, man, he's a good young man. I mean, trust me, he gonna have the money if he chooses to get someone, you know, as far as communication, helping them with that, he can do that.
Yeah. And
but his character, and then he loves his mother, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, he's 25 years old.
Yeah, man.
You know,
silly.
He doesn't get in any trouble.
No.
You know, like you say, good warning off the field. You know, I remember me at 25. I surely wasn't as polished as I was at 30.
Right.
You know, as I was at 35. You know, you gotta, and I didn't have $20 million coming to me at 25 neither.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you know, you talking about a guy, you know, to come from humble beginnings. You know, like a lot of us, man, he come from humble beginnings, man. And been a good citizen the whole way. You know, the whole way through, man. He's not going to be perfect. He's not going to do it the way you want him to do it. You know, but he's going to be solid. I don't foresee any you know, issues with that man outside of football or anything. I just think he, you know, coming into his own and he doing it at his own pace. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't particularly like. You know, we want what we want when we want it.
I know that's right. Yeah.
You know, that microwave society. We want it now. You know, we want you to be the perfect gentleman, the perfect orator right now. You know, you should be able to get on that microphone and speak and speak what they call the king's English better than the king himself.
I tell you what's going to change that, Kenny. He's going to get to a point where his conviction, his stick-to-itiveness, his level of maturity continues to grow. He's going to get to a point where people are going to listen to him more,
right?
Even if he doesn't have King's English. I'm going to tell you why. This young man right behind me, people said the same thing about him. But you know, once he got to a point where he made you listen to him, he got a whole lot smarter, didn't he?
Oh, for sure.
He got a whole lot smarter.
For sure.
And people said the same thing about him. But once he made you listen and understand that this man, even though he didn't go around the world, he was worldly.
Absolutely.
It's a difference.
Absolutely. It's
a difference. When you're able to stand in a room and command the room, which I think Lamar will grow to, he gonna make you listen. And at that point, you know, all that shit about, you know, looking down on him because he doesn't speak well, and I mean that's gonna go out the window.
Yeah.
And I hope he lets people remember that.
But you know what I'm saying, man, it's just the way society is conditioned.
Yeah.
some in society, because everybody don't think that way. Everybody don't feel that way. But you have some in society. They're gonna find something. They're gonna find something to nitpick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna find something that's does not meet their approval, one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna figure something out. And like you say, if it's not like I had a conversation with a young lady at a local establishment a couple months ago, and you know, she asked me, was I a Ravens fan? Yeah, you know. Then Lamar came up, and I'm telling her he gonna be fine, you know. And she said, well, you know, I hope he starts to do X, Y, some of the same stuff we already talked about. She nitpicking, you know, but it's usually the talking points that you hear everywhere else. He got to throw better. He got to do better in the playoffs. He got to do this. He got to do that. But I'm like, yo, it's a team game. You know, he's not out there by himself.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. And then she said, but I'm not happy with that. She kept talking about the sidearm thrower.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Miss, I said, that's the least of my worry, because he completing a lot of them passes.
Yes.
You understand me? He completing a lot of them passes. So
yeah,
you know, you nitpicking and but it's again, it's you hear people complaining and they nitpicking, and it's the same stuff. People saying the same stuff. It's like nobody have an original thought.
Yeah.
You know, people saying, well, he can't throw.
They hear other people.
We in year 5 and you got people still saying he can't throw. And after he won an MVP.
It was crazy.
Touchdowns.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes throws no-look passes, sidearm, everything.
You know what, Cheese? You was reading my mind. Because, you know, I'm just wondering how the Chiefs fans receive Mahomes in his first maybe 1, 2, 3 years, because even now he's not your I mean, he's not known as a running quarterback, but you know, he's not your conventional quarterback. I mean, he does shit, you know, because of his skill. I mean, you use the skill. I mean, your skill is your skill, and the play and the player is going to be that player based on the skill that they bring, or skills that they bring to the table, and they're not going to all be the same. I mean, you look at Barry Sanders. You know, I mean, you know, they have unique skills. Lamar has unique skill set.
Yeah, his skills are.
I should, you know, and I guess this is a reason why I don't read the Baltimore Sun sports pages more often, man, because I guess I'm a little surprised of the commentary, I guess, from the Baltimore fans toward Lamar. And I've seen it occasionally, but you know, and I just like dismissed it like, all right, asshole, you know.
Nah.
But like damn.
That's a real thing.
One of the toughest things to do when I used to, you know, drive for a living, I listened to a lot of sports talk.
Yeah.
One of the toughest things to do was listen to sports talk radio the day after a loss.
Oh.
And that whole week. I mean, it's a funeral.
Yeah.
It's like a funeral, man. It's some of the.
So what's the local sports show, big fella? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You got 105.7 is probably the main one. They sports all day. 105.7 the Fan.
Yeah.
Hey, is that with what's
Your
that
boy from New York?
He used to be the fucking commissioner.
Ed Norris, yeah.
He's on there?
Yeah. He's on there in the morning.
Yeah.
In the morning time with
his disgraced ass.
Yeah. I mean, Rodney, they want him to be the mayor of the city.
He's supposed to be packing groceries somewhere, man. Like unheard of. Like we're not supposed to hear his ass.
Ooh, Baltimore love that man. They embraced him.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't like we got a mayor now. Well, that's another I'm sorry, man.
Hey.
Get me started.
Hey man, listen. Anytime you want to slide this thing toward politics, man, and talk about Scott, man, be my guest,
We
man.
gotta do that. We gotta do that on my show, CB. We got to keep it.
Yeah, me and my son was just vibing on this cat, man. Just the shit that's going on in the streets right now, man. It's just
we're gonna do that on the peaceful disturbance.
Yeah, it's just crazy out here, man.
We only got a few more minutes left today. I ain't gonna keep y'all brothers. I know we got things to do in the morning. So are y'all looking forward to the start of the football season?
Oh yeah,
man.
Are
we looking forward to getting back to football on Sundays and Monday nights and Sunday nights and Thursday nights?
Football is great, man.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I missed your question. I was
Are you excited about football starting back up? You know, football Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays.
You know, I have to tell you this. I'm definitely looking forward to football and the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an observation that I've made, and I'm gonna share it with you and tell me what you think.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed during this off season, after the Super Bowl,
mm-hmm.
that is still NFL coverage 24/7.
Oh yeah.
Like there's some NBA, but with the NFL, I think it's unmatched. And during these months, I'm looking at, I'm like, damn, they're reporting on this like it's still an NFL season.
You're gonna have to go back to some of the old sports mix. I definitely brought that up a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
The NFL has figured out how to market everything.
Yep.
All year round.
They figured out how to market everything, and they figured out how to keep fans engaged 24/7, 365.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think they go back to the point Cheese made earlier with when you got fans that feel like they know more than the actual people that's, you know, running these teams and coaching and all that stuff, because there's so much access and you got so much information available. You know what I'm saying? They talk about these players all the time. You know, they breaking them down. You know, you got these you got a lot of football people that's talking heads now that had a job in the league at some point, whether they were a scout or GM or coach or whatever.
Facts.
So they put out a lot of information as well. But what I've learned, and again, I learned a lot mainly from listening to a lot of sports talk, but having an open mind and being able to decipher information. Everything they putting out there is not to be believed, number one. You know what I'm saying? I think the thing that get lost in a lot of that stuff, these people are human. Some of them got agendas. Some of them got some bad blood with people that they put out stuff about. You know, whether it's a Lamar Jackson, where you got still people saying that he can't throw and he can't do this and he can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, whether they're talking about Tom Brady and whatever light they're talking about him in at 45 years old, it's constant. You know, the constant barrage of information. And you see it in politics, you know, with the 24-hour news cycle. It's always something. You know what I'm saying? It's always something in a different way to look at it. And just like in politics with sports, you can go places to get the information you want to hear. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got your Fox News people and you got your CNN people. And they don't particularly like what the other side is saying. And you got the same stuff in sports. You got people, you know, that are gonna so-called keep it real in sports, and they feel like they gotta rip on athletes or put out certain information about players, and that's where you go to get that. And then you have people that you know, pretty reliable in what they say because there's no emotion tied to it. I'm just giving you what it is. But you are absolutely right, man. It's 24/7, 365, man. NFL is the king at that.
And can I just make another point? In addition to what you said, I also noticed one extra thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Madden ratings. It's a fucking storyline.
Yes.
They will go to the players.
Yes.
Yo, you got rated 92. You was rated 95 last year.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, man. I should have been 97.
Yeah.
What the fuck, son? Yo, you getting real heated. It's a game.
Yeah, man.
And you ain't even getting no paper from the game. I don't think.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
But it's part of the NFL reporting. And it just keeps that reporting in, like how you say, 365.
Mm-hmm.
365.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And truthfully, that's what make it possible for a platform like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
like
what make it
soap
possible.
opera.
Because with the 365, football does it better than anybody. NFL in particular, NFL football does it better than any sport. Baseball not so much. Basketball, basketball can be a little dramatic with certain things happening, but nothing close to what the NFL is.
Trade requests and then you change your mind. Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm not asking for a trade.
Yeah, KD.
Yeah.
But basketball not as much as football. Football, like you say, football make a story out of the Madden ratings, and that take over. For a couple of days. Like you say, they gonna stick a microphone in dudes' faces. How you feel about your rating on Madden? We talking about what we talking about? Where AI at? What we talking about? We talking about a video game or the game? What we talking about here? So yeah, I don't know, man. The NFL, truthfully, we could do a podcast just on the NFL and do it every day for the whole year. We could do a podcast and find topics every day. And probably 50 to 60% of them wouldn't have nothing to do with the games.
Just look at what happened over the summer. It was Deshaun. It was Deshaun all day.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, what did he get? 11 games?
Yeah.
Well, at least we won't have to hear that stuff until he come back in November.
Well, we know he won't have muscle tightness. I know that. Just saying.
I'm gonna leave him alone till November. I'm leaving him alone till November. So yeah, so we're gonna try to get it back once a week. I know everybody's schedule is everybody's schedule is different, so we'll work that out. Off camera, we'll work it out. We'll get that together. Shout out to Neil, shout out to Dean, shout out to Coach C. You know what I'm saying? They are all round table guys. So like I say, everybody's schedule a little different. Last thing before we jump off, I just wanted to touch real quick on the college football playoff that's going to start, I think, in 2026. So they're going to bump it up from a 4-team playoff to a 12-team playoff system. I always felt like it should have been more. I remember my initial thinking was they should do like a 16-team playoff, and you can start it like you don't have to wait. You know how they do now? They wait a whole month, pretty much the whole month of December. They wait from the last game. Usually the last game sometime in November. Then it's like a month off, and they kind of try to tie the playoffs into the bowl season. I figured do like a 12 or 16 started as soon as the season is over with. You start the first round, and then to keep those bowl games active, once teams get eliminated from the playoff, then they can accept bids to the bowls. a lot of because it's 1,000 bowl games now anyway. So that was one of the things they didn't want to lose the bowls. They didn't want to lose the revenue that they were making from them bowls. And you play it out 16 games, 16 teams is what 8 games, 4 games, 2. So it's only like 3 weeks. 3 weeks of football, 3 weeks of playoffs, and then you can make that championship game like that second week, that second Monday, like they do anyway. I mean, that was my thoughts originally, but I'd rather have more teams than just the top 4 anyway. Because the SEC conference like that, they'll put 3 or 4 teams in there anyway every year anyway. So what y'all guys have any thoughts on that, or is what it is?
I'm not a big college football follower. I watch it every once in a while.
Yeah.
I like the 4-team format. However, just looking at the bowl selection or the bowl season rather, and looking at an expanded playoff format, like I would like to see where the bowls are somewhat tiered, and the last game is going to be the biggest bowl, whatever that one would be, So if you're playing in the first round, you have whatever bowl games, and those are going to be your bowl games on the first round. Then it'll be elevated to the second round, and then so forth, and then whatever, the Super Bowl being that game. One of the bowl games, they will, how would you say, stipulate which level those bowl games would be, and then that would be the status, so to speak, of that particular bowl game, which would lead to the bowl game, which would be the championship. But
I think they kind of do something like that now.
They do that now.
It's kind of something like that now with the 4 teams. I know the last game is usually because they rotate the championship game between the Fiesta, the Sugar, everybody get a shot at the championship game. I don't know what the rotation is, but I know that's how they do it. But I know when they first started talking about the playoff system, that was the big thing with traditional college football fans. They didn't want to see the bowl games lose the because the Rose Bowl used to have the Big Ten winner versus the Pac-10 winner.
I remember that
every year. So you would see, it would be Michigan, USC, or
right.
Ohio State, UCLA, something like that.
Right.
And that went away with the playoff championship format they have now. Because if the number 1 team is from the Big Ten, that's going to eliminate them from going to the Rose Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because they're in the playoff format. So, but we're a couple years away from it. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with it and how they bring it together and everything.
Somebody gonna make money.
But it's all about money. At the end of the day, it's all about getting that paper. So they're gonna figure out the way to maximize it and make sure everybody's still getting what they're supposed to be getting at the end of the day. So any final thoughts before we close out on this day off edition, one of them holidays?
Why would he go to Cleveland?
Oh, Donovan Mitchell.
Oh.
Hey.
That's all.
And that's coming from a Knicks fan. If y'all didn't know, out there in TV land.
I would rather him come to the Knicks, man, and go to Cleveland. Why you want to go to Cleveland?
Well, Cleveland gave Utah 3 quality players. Colin Sexton being, one. I don't know, man.
I don't think CB buying that.
I don't know if the Knicks were willing to give up certain people which is another story I guess we'll get into one day. But and then a lot of people say, Donovan Mitchell, is he, speaking objectively, is he that guy that can get you over the hump? Because you got to realize he's a fantastic scorer. He'll score 24, 25 a game. But people don't realize he's only 6'2".
6'2". I was shocked.
So
when I looked that up.
In playoff basketball and in the East, you're going to have to guard people too. All these guys, that's why we talk about and laugh about all the time. LeBron, making all these threes in the summer. Melo making all these 30-footers in the summer. Russell Westbrook making 3-pointers in the summer. Ben Simmons even making threes in the summer. None of them playing defense, though. None of them. And I say it every year. They ain't going to win nothing. Colin, I want to see how he does in the East guarding these guys that he's going to have to guard. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Conceivably, it's easier for him to guard a guy like Stephen Curry than it will be to, guard, say, a guy like Kyrie Irving who's off the ball, or somebody like that, or a James Harden who's off the ball at the 2 position. I
think he may struggle.
He may,
and it's not because of his skill set. I think that he may be asked to do too much.
Yeah,
I think it may be, I think it may be too much.
Could be.
Whereas if he would have went to a team that was, say, like more balanced, because with Cleveland, they gave up. So
Cleveland still got the big man. They still got the big man in the back though. What's the young guy that block all the shots?
Yeah.
That could help him.
Yeah.
When you got that shot block in the back, that'll help. When you up front getting exposed.
Yeah.
If you got some protection in the back, that could help him. So
it's true.
But he definitely got his work cut out for him. And then the spotlight going to be on him for sure. Because Cleveland young and up and coming. So he gonna have some spotlight on him, and they a young team. So
he should have came to the Garden.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this though, man. I mean, I know you probably have an NBA show when the time comes, Kenny, but I'm telling you this, CB. Jalen Brunson. You can't measure that young man's heart and his basketball IQ. I'm telling you, he's sneaky. And I'm being honest. The dude can flat out play. After Doncic, in my opinion, he was the second best player on the Mavericks, especially down the stretch. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of people
said the magic word there. Down that stretch.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I'm just giving the Knicks a little bit of credit because I don't think people understand.
I don't give them shit.
Well, I mean, I understand. I mean, because you're a diehard Knicks fan, so I totally understand where you're coming from. But I don't want to dismiss the guy. He's a winner, man. He's a winner, and
it's not to say none of that is not true. He is, but I just wonder what was the basis of their decision making. A 3-4 game stretch.
No,
if Doncic don't go down and they play, do the Knicks still look at him?
Of course, I'm gonna tell you why.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, now you got. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he averaged like 17 or 18 this year. So he played good all year. Yeah, he played good all year. But my point is, and you got to work with me on this one. He's a poor man's and the way he plays, he's not as good as Rod Strickland, but he's a poor man's Rod Strickland because he's a great post up guard, just like Rod Strickland. He's a smart guy, just like Rod Strickland. He's a great finisher around the basket, just like Rod Strickland. And I think the Knicks fans, I think you got something, man. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star, but he won at Villanova. He made the Mavericks better. I think he's going to make the Knicks better. I really do. I think people sleeping on that pick, man, or that trade rather.
I think he's solid.
He is solid, man.
I think the Knicks. I think the Knicks to make the move to make the transition that they want to make. They need something else. They need something else to go with them. So him alone, you know, he'd be a solid player for the Knicks.
I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. I really do.
I don't doubt that, but I don't know that he's gonna give them the bump in the standings that the New York fans are looking for. And the Knicks, you know, they wanted what's the guy we just was talking about, Donovan. You know, Knicks fans wanted Donovan. I know the Knicks. It was some rumblings about them trying to make a move to get him, and for whatever reason, that didn't work out. But,
give up RJ, Obi.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So I don't know, man, and it's tough. It's tough seeing the Knicks be this way for so long. You know what I'm saying?
And the NBA needs the Knicks to win, man.
Yeah, the Knicks. When the Knicks are relevant, you know, it make the NBA that much better.
Makes it a whole lot better, man.
And to see the Knicks struggling, you know, for these last
management
15 years or so, it's been tough.
Yeah,
it's been tough. You know, and you know, my first memories of the Knicks, you know, Bernard King. You know, that's my first memories of the Knicks. You know, the Bernard King years, and then of course Big Pat. You know what I'm saying? And through the 90s, you know, just the Knicks, man, just you know, they gotta figure out a way to fix it. I don't know whether they gotta sell the team, get some new owners. I don't know what the deal is, but they definitely gotta get back to some relevance.
But think about that. Even when Bernard King played, they wasn't on top.
No.
But what made that great was, or made that interesting was, he's a New Yorker.
Yeah.
So they rooted for him, and he played hard every night. He's a New Yorker.
Yep. So appreciate y'all, fellas.
Yes, sir.
For joining me tonight, man. I want people that's been watching to support my guys on their platforms. Cheese with the Peaceful Disturbance podcast. Where can they find that, Cheese?
I mean, you can find it on YouTube and I'll do my lives. I got two things real quick I want to say. First of all, I'm gonna try to do one this week on the young African American male and the significance of them not playing baseball as much as they used to. But I've been doing some writing and researching on that subject, and I probably want to talk about that this week. And I got some really interesting notes from different people and why, you know, certain things about that. But
that's interesting.
Yeah. But CB, I mean, Kenny, I know you're gonna go to him. I want to have CB come on, because CB, tell him just briefly about your writing this past week. Because I showed a few guys at work, and it was very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I just posted a piece about COINTELPRO, government, FBI government program, covert program that we were told that it officially ended in 71, but there's clear evidence when you look through the years, and I provided a couple of examples, and the most recent example that occurred, I believe, in Florida and in St. Louis, I believe, and so it was actually of the first of a two-parter. But I wanted people to get a sense as to one, Black August, two, George Jackson, three, COINTELPRO, and just to give some sense about what COINTELPRO is, and the long-term impact that is that continues to be felt today. And so there's a bill that was proposed last year on HR 2998, where one of the things that they're proposing is to disclose all of the COINTELPRO files and change the name of the FBI building from because right now Hoover's name is still on the building, so we need to take his fucking name off the damn building, right? But so again, yeah, so it was Black August reminds us that COINTELPRO did not end. And folks can go to the Brooks Blackboard, which is just in essence my name with a dash in the middle, charles-brooks.com. And folks come on, and you can see my writings as well as other published work around race, class, and electoral politics.
And that was so interesting, man. Really was.
Got more coming, man. I'm telling you, man. I've been working on several essays, man. So September, October, man, I'm going to be putting it down.
We need to take a ride up to New York and get this stuff published. Go to it. I'm serious, man.
With that, with the black young men playing baseball, you could also talk about the young black girls softball. Something I see regular. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a lack of black girls playing competitively, especially. And you'd like to see more. I don't know what you got to do to get more of them playing, but because my daughter plays, so I'm around it, and it's something she even expressed to me. This is me and her having a conversation, and she said she would like to see more young African American females play. So
they have to have it in the schools.
Yeah,
they have it in the schools.
That's part of this.
You got them in the schools.
No, but Brooks has a point, and that's going to be part of it. And I think I'm going to do this Wednesday.
I remember Joe Morgan used to be on that. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I remember, and I remember one of the points that he made was the change in focus on the school level.
Yeah.
And where it's either underfunded in certain areas, and I'll just say this. Through the years, I guess I paid attention a little bit to it. And I remember there was a documentary, I don't know if it was 60 minutes, maybe about like a year or two. They went to the Dominican Republic and they just showed the minor league operation. And it was just like, holy shit. And then they made the comparison over here. And then when you look at in certain communities. And I'm saying that to say, for me to see that, it was very clear. Oh, okay. And so so I'm looking forward to that, because just as recently as maybe last week, I heard the issue being raised somewhere, and it's an interesting topic.
I got a lot of points that I'm gonna bring up with that.
Because you look at the game today. I'm just really getting back into baseball now because of watching the captain, and it's different. I've noticed it over the years, but it's very clear, and it's not racist. I don't look at it as being a racist situation. I think I look at it more as of an area of focus in a particular community.
Yep. It's
And
not
a particular community, if that's their focus, then we're going to see that. If the focus is basketball, you're going to see that. If the focus is football, you're going to see that. If it's soccer, you're going to see that. If it's baseball, you're going to see that.
You see it every Saturday when you go through anywhere in the city. These football fields are packed.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Texas
Saturday.
Too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna delve into that. I don't want to hold your show up, but
but I mean, you can look around.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Baltimore specifically, it was a big, there was a big thing with football. Football kind of blew up. You start seeing football kind of year round. When we were kids, football was seasonal. You played football in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball in the spring. Everything was seasonal. But now with more specialization in sports, you got kids playing basketball all year. You got football going on all year now. And for sure, that took away from baseball. For sure, and especially in our community, that took away from baseball. Kids playing more basketball and football year round. Hey, Kelly checking in, fellas. Our good friend Kelly.
And I'll say this, and a lot of people don't realize this. Baseball. Say if you got a kid, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of parents don't realize this because they see basketball and they see football, and you see them at the AAU tournaments. And
I think I know the point that you're going to make.
Yeah. And there's a few aspects, and I don't want to ruin it because it's a lot of aspects, and it's like this tree of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to a coach, and he made a great point. He said, these kids, they see football and basketball. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them think baseball is boring. But see, here's the difference. He says, I blame the coaches. I said, why do you say that? Here's what he said, and it was right in front of me. He says, the way you coach is how that young man or young lady is going to react. He says, when I coach, there's no kid on my field who's just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the practices fun for everybody. It's nonstop. So, you might have a right fielder who feels like he's saying, oh, no. He's got a guy hitting them outfielders the ball constantly when he's working infield practice. He said he makes the fun, but that's another aspect. But I'll tell you this. It's a lot of guaranteed money in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of guaranteed money in baseball.
Absolutely.
Coming right out of high school.
Yeah.
But we're concentrating on, baseball. And I love all sports. But I tell you what, man. And the thing about it, when we play baseball, we're naturally good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to this, Cheese, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Yep.
You're looking at two of the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at two of the best. I love baseball.
Baseball was my first game.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first game. The Oakland A's was my first team.
I wish I'd have stuck with it longer.
Me too.
I wish I'd have stuck with it longer. Yeah. But that's a topic for another. That's a topic for another day. But it's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
My brothers, it's been a pleasure, man. So follow my man Charles at the Brooks Blackboard. Follow my man Cheese at the Peaceful Disturbance. Follow me at the Sports Mix 2021 on YouTube, IG, Twitter. We all over the place. Football season is back. We be talking some football coming up. NBA, Lamar Jackson, great break the bank.
You got to put your Cash App on your scroll, though.
Yeah, send me a couple dollars too. I'll add that.
Hey, you know what?
But yeah, man. So
nothing wrong with that.
Thank everybody for tuning in. I see we had some people jumping in and out on the Facebook. I can't see exactly how many people was watching on YouTube, but I do know that some people was watching on YouTube. Thank everybody. If you have not yet subscribed,
subscribe to the Sports Channel.
It's in the comments on Facebook, and if you're watching on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button. Let's get these numbers up. Trying to get up to that 1,000 mark. Got a little ways to go. We got 490. Was it 493 on the Facebook page? So we close to 500 there. We over 100 on YouTube. So we climbing, getting there. So we pushing up on a year too. Next month in October we be celebrating 1 year. So try to come up with something nice for that. You know what I'm saying? And we could kind of celebrate that, talk like we do. Have some fun with it. Well, fellas, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening.
We went through a whole show, man, and Cheese didn't mention Obama getting an Emmy not once, man. I am so proud of you, Cheese.
Well, here's the thing.
No, here's the thing, man.
No, because you say you're going to
move on, man.
No, you say you're going to come on a Peaceful Disturbance to talk about your piece.
Mm-hmm.
So as a matter of fact, that BO is going to pop up sooner or later. So I was just waiting. I'm not going to ruin the sports mix,
man. And you know what else we didn't bring up?
What's that?
Rudy was freed.
Huh?
Rudy was freed.
Oh.
Utah freed Rudy.
Yes, sir.
We didn't come to the Knicks like I wanted them to.
He can keep his ass in Minnesota.
CB, Kenny trying to start stuff, man. I ain't even going down that road tonight, man.
It's a little hit and run.
Yeah.
Fire the shotgun and the show was over. Bam.
By the way, Serena was black again at the last match.
Oh, not that. Not that.
Damn.
Hey, you know what? I got to do that before we go. We got it before we go. Because we did a little something on Serena last time.
I'm sorry, man.
But
no, you're not.
Congratulations to Serena Williams.
I don't know what came over me.
On a great career.
Mm-hmm.
No
doubt.
One of the best to ever do it.
No doubt.
For sure. I'm sure she'll be around in some capacity. She's not gonna just disappear off the earth. But she lost the other night at the U.S. Open, and that kind of was her swan song. She said she was going to kind of fall back after this tournament. So, congrats again to Serena on a great. What was like a 25-year run, something like that. So. Congrats to Serena. Best of luck in your next endeavors, whatever that may be. And also, I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see Tiger Woods at the match.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool, man. And their careers parallel so much. And both trailblazers being young African Americans in sports that traditionally.
From Southern California, too.
Right, that African Americans didn't play or excel in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good to see. Thank you for the subscription, Kelly, one of our faithful supporters. Appreciate you.
Mama G.
So appreciate you. I think I subscribed to your podcast as well.
I did too. I subscribed to it.
Put the
I think
your
Serena
comment.
just
Put
signed the
your
deal with
podcast in
Clorox.
the comments, Kelly, so I can send that out to the people as well. Because you
What you
support
say,
us all the
CB?
time.
I got a notification.
Oh shit.
Serena just signed the deal with Clorox.
Hey, where the hell is where's my disclaimer? Hey, where's my disclaimer? Y'all great, make me bring that back up.
Somebody says she took a shower in baking powder.
The views expressed on the sports mix.
Goodness gracious.
Oh man. Oh. Yeah.
But shout out to Serena Serena Williams. She did great.
Not Sosa. You didn't just slide that in there, did you?
My fault, man. Microphone slip.
Is Sammy watching? Sammy, you watching, man? You got some questions to answer, Sammy.
As a matter of fact, I am.
Hey, Sammy, you got some explaining to do, buddy.
Yeah. Got some. Oh my goodness. Sammy look like Dean Martin now.
Ricky Ricardo.
Oh my goodness.
You got some explaining to do, Sammy.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got it out. We got it out. I think we good now.
Sammy went for it, man.
Yeah, we good now. Fellas, y'all have a good one, man. Y'all don't work too hard this week.
All right.
And we'll be back at it once again. Salute.
Peace.
Peace, brothers.
Have a good week, everyone.
You too, guys.
All right. Peace.